Hello, what's up everyone? Dan back at you with another video, and today we are going to talk about the reveal of Act 2 of Episode 1. The biggest news obviously is that they are going to be letting us do the entire, act or episode, whatever, the entire arc at the same time of this episode act. I can never get the appropriate, wording, but you know what I mean. Unlike the first time we had this, we had to wait week after week. They're going to give us a trial of just letting it drop all on Tuesday and letting the player decide how quickly or how slow they want to play. Personally, I've always really preferred this. Some people might only have, say, one, day throughout the week to just go ahead and just catch up in the entire story. And I understand drip feed is always good to keep players, continually active. But letting the player choose and decide when they want to play is always a bonus and always a better choice as a developer. So props to Bungie for making this change. Hopefully it, is received well, and hopefully it turns, everything around as far as how we look at engaging in the story. Now that we got that out the way, we're going to talk about probably some of the highlights of Echoes or Act 2. They talked about a lot of the things coming. They talked about the battlegrounds. Battlegrounds are going to be pretty interesting this time. For the most part, I've never been a huge fan of battlegrounds, but this time they are going to allow us to go from location to location to location. So when you do one battlegrounds from the beginning to the end of that one battlegrounds would be the beginning of the next battlegrounds, and then the beginning of that battlegrounds going to the end of that battlegrounds will then take you into the third battleground. So wherever you end the battleground is going to start the next battleground, which is hopefully kind of cool. I know some people have talked about it. It seems that strikes are kind of getting pushed to the side, and understandably so. Battlegrounds seem to be something that requires a little bit less work and can be produced at a higher quantity. So having battlegrounds throughout the seasonal or the year and expansions having a single strike seems to be their formula now. Gone are the days of having multiple strikes throughout the year. Battlegrounds has replaced that, and at this point it seems that any new content is always going to be good content. Now the highlight obviously of the stream for me, the first thing we see is a new solar rocket sidearm, as a lot of people call it, the pocket rocket. Rocket sidearms are probably one of the best things that have been added to Destiny in a long time, and now we're getting a solar one, and it's going to be Vex theme. The Vex one looks pretty sick, as you see on screen, and like they talked about, you're going to be able to get heal clip and incandescent, which is the big solar role that everyone loves. But you can also get demolitionist, which in my opinion, I think is going to be a little bit better than incandescent, but you just got to wait and see. They also talk about, Chris Proctor says that with demolitionist on these weapons, it's going to allow you to get pretty fast uptime on your grenades and your abilities, simply because of how rocket sidearms function. They're able to destroy things in a very quick manner, and it's nice that they are embracing rocket sidearms instead of what some people were expecting, which was a slight nerf. They also talk about the heavy burst pulse rifle. The Vex theme one also is going to be really cool, although it's not as big of a highlight for me as the rocket sidearm. Also coming next week, we're also going to be getting Perfect Paradox back, and they talk about how a lot of the perks are going to be based around melees and really good for Titans, and also really good for Hunters with combination blow. So it's really nice to see Perfect Paradox back as well. While talking about all the things returning, they're also talking about some other buffs, specifically to Twilight Arsenal getting a buff to its axis, so it's stronger, and also Hammer of Souls, so 2 prismatic supers for Titan are getting buffed. Hopefully they're going to be buffed to make them competitive. This is one of the words they used, and hopefully it lets just prismatic Titan, which obviously they know is being underwhelming. Hopefully this makes their supers at the very least more competitive with some of the other supers that the prismatic Warlock and the prismatic Hunter have to use. Specifically, obviously Nighthawk, Storm's Edge, Song of Flame, and Nova Bomb being like some highlights for me as far as like really strong Prismatic Hunter and Warlock ones. Hopefully this makes those Prismatic Titans be able to do, you know, equivalent or something to what the Warlock and Hunter can do. This isn't all the changes obviously, but this is some of the ones that they highlighted. So hopefully we see a bit more coming for the Prismatic Titan and just Titan in general. Because let's be honest, the Titan's needed. Looking at our new artifact perks for the 6th row, it's funny. They are just gonna go all in into solar and all in into snipers. We're getting anti-barrier sniper, which is a crowd favorite. I don't remember the last time we've had anti-barrier sniper, but that's finally returned. Another one is, of course, we're getting scavenger perks, so you can pick up more scavenger ammo, and they're also reducing the cost of reserves on chest pieces. However, you can no longer do chest piece reserve swapping where you like rally with like reserve pieces and then swap off and keep them. So now they're making it to where you can't do that anymore, but they were reducing the cost of reserves. Also with scavengers, they're gonna make it to where you can pick up more, which is insane because now you'll have even more Steel Hunt ammo and Whisper ammo. They're gonna make it to where solar snipers, as they do precision damage, will then ignite and scorch. They're bringing those two things back where you have bigger radiuses on your ignitions, and solar damage will apply scorch, which means Steel Hunt's gonna be even more broken. But the highlight has to be the last one, which is Sniper's Meditation, where sniper rifle hits grant stacking, sniper rifle damage, stability, reload bonuses for a short time, and heavy ammo sniper hits count more than one. Which means the season of Steel Hunt is even more busted, and Whisper. So Whisper is gonna basically give you infinite ammo and more damage. And Steel Hunt, if you were worried that Steel Hunt was getting nerfed, I'm sorry to tell you that Steel Hunt is getting buffed. So for my solo witness gamers, you might even see me doing solo witness now, because my one worry was damage, and now that is not a thing next week. But all in all, this is a insane perk, and it's gonna be really good next week. Finally, they talked a little bit about Solstice very briefly. They showed off some concept art of our armor sets, and while I'm not the biggest fan of Solstice, in general, I've always found the armor to be some of the best throughout the year, and in concept, some of these pieces look pretty good. My hope, as always, is with concept art in-game, with shaders, with like the in-game physics and environments, it might not look as cool, but in concept, these look pretty cool. I don't understand the brown thematic, but with shaders we can change it, and hopefully it looks dope. And as always, I would hope that they tell us a little bit more about it in the TWID this week. As they said, maybe they do, maybe they don't, maybe they give us some additional information as well. If they do, I'll be sure to make a video on that as well. And that pretty much does it for all of the dev stream. It went a little bit longer than I expected. They talked about some stuff that actually is kind of exciting, but always I want to wait until I see it in game. Always want to wait till you see it in game, because everything on paper doesn't really translate very well to the game. But for the most part, you know, the live team has been doing a pretty solid job, and I'm excited to see how the story beats roll out and how the gameplay changes next week. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Leave in the comments what you think about the dev stream, and once again, and I will see you in the next one.